Hello everyone and welcome back to Self Plays. And this video is for the beginners and new players in Warzone that are struggling with their aim. So I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to improve your aim and also how to better control recoil in Warzone, because the better your recoil control, the more better you will be at aiming. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we are gonna start off with recoil control, because recoil control and your aim go hand in hand, and your recoil will throw you off target. So it is very important that you know the recoil pattern of the gun that you are using. So get familiar with it. So I have two examples here. The first is the Farah, the second is the M4. Now with the Farah, which you would say has easy to control recoil, it shoots up basically straight up vertical, and to control a recoil pattern like this, all I have to do is hold down on my mouse or my analog stick. So all I have to do is hold down and the gun basically turns into a laser beam. But this doesn't work with every gun, and this is why you should be learning the recoil pattern, because a gun like the M4, what happens is the M4 goes up and to the right, and if I was just to hold down, what would happen is that the M4 would start dragging towards the right. Okay, let's get back into it. So the M4 would start dragging towards the right even though I'm holding down, because I'm not adjusting for the horizontal recoil that it has. So if I was to hold down the M4, my gun will start drifting towards the right because I'm not adjusting for it, and this would be a lot more magnified at range. So you have to control that as well. Go left, then start adjusting towards the right. So this is why go into Plunder, whatever gun you want to use, shoot a wall and learn the recoil pattern of the guns. Okay, now let's talk about practicing that recoil control and practicing that aim. So for that, what I would do is I would paint a wall with this for this guy, and what I would do is I would go back 10 meters and I would try that all my shots hit this guy and all my shots land within this image. So I'm just going to pull down and try that all my shots land within this image, and that was pretty dope. That was pretty decent. So now I would recommend doing the same thing, but okay dude, as I was saying before I got rudely interrupted, was that go back 20 meters and try doing the same thing again. Try keeping all your bullets within this target, and that should help you realize your recoil control at different ranges. Do it again at 30 meters. This is 35 meters. Do it again at 30 meters. Make sure all your bullets land within this guy. And that's how I would recommend practicing your aim and your recoil control. The second tip that I have, or the next tip that I have, is going to be centering your crosshairs, or that dot that when you start running, in a sense where you would always be looking in the direction where you expect people to be. If I expect someone to be in this house, I'm going to be centering, or I'm going to be keeping my crosshairs in that direction at all times. When I run into this room, I'm going to be looking in this room pre-hand. And what this does is that if someone pops up, I'll only have to make a micro adjustment to my aim in order to shoot them, and that could be the defining move in a gunfight in Warzone, where the TTK is at 500, 600 milliseconds. Don't run up like this. Don't run up or run in looking up. Instead, have your crosshairs in the center of your screen and always be looking where you expect people to be. So you only have to make a micro adjustment to your aim when you do eventually see a person. Same goes while going upstairs. Always look up in the general direction of the stairs before you go up, again to make only micro adjustments if someone does end up being there. And the same goes for pre-aiming. So if you do expect someone to be in this room or in this house, pre-aim this house, again to only make micro adjustments if a person does end up or does pop up. Don't pre-aim every corner, because that's just tedious and that just makes the game pretty slow. But be sure and make it a habit to center your aim and pre-aim if you have to. Look in the general direction where you expect people to be, and only make micro adjustments if you have to if an enemy does pop up. Okay, finally I would say practice your recoil control, practice your aim, go into plunder, practice against a wall, learn the master the recoil controls and master the recoil plots of the guns that you like using. Shoot up a wall, go into multiplayer, play Vanguard, Cold War, Modern Warfare, play against bots, practice against bots. And the biggest tip would be to use high recoil guns when you are practicing your aim or you are warming up. So like use something like the AK-47, which has a lot of vertical recoil, has a lot of kick. So what that does is when you do use a gun, an accurate gun like the Farah, the Cooper, the Grau, the STG, what happens is once you start learning to control the recoil of guns like the AK-47 in your practice sessions, those guns will feel like laser beams to you. So those are a few of my tips to improve your aim. If you found this video helpful or if you like the video, check out my other content, subscribe and like, and stay tuned for more. And I will catch you all next time.